Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. Another one. And every day I log in now, it's just water thieves. Alright. Do I have meds? I got a few more meds than last time. What gun? Probably just an RPK, right? Which ammo do I have? 7.62. Yeah, I've got 500 rounds, that's plenty. Let's get the right rig on. Hey Josh, how's it going? And then we need 7.62 with our RPK. We don't really need an offhand at all, we just need meds. That should be fine. Hey Boo Boo, how's it going? Get out my innards. This is like the most conveniently placed turned over table. You can probably just sit here the entire time, I imagine. Go turret, go. My one turret I think I have. Alright, anyone else? Everyone, we're good. Alright, let's find some Vepers. And so much water too. RPD, I wouldn't mind an RPD if we can't find any Vepers. Two Vitazes, no thank you. Two more Vitazes. Any shotguns here? There we go, there's at least one. And what did you have on you? RPD. That's better than Vitaz. Ah, yes, the AB blood bags. Would it be I wonder, I'm curious if you buy assets, do you actually get the ability to modify them, or is it like pre-built? Could they like go in afterward and change the blood types? Make a few different materials or a few different types of blood bags? For my own sanity? Can they take the asset and just replace the text to say, you know, like O positive or O negative or, you know, A and B and not just all AB plus? You fiends. Alright, well anyway, innards are safe. Time to go get my revenge, I guess. Via Water Wars. You know, let's go pistol-y. Maybe we'll, I say that, then suddenly shriek at the sign of just like 9mm pistols everywhere. Oh no, the ever so slightly smaller blood bags. Alright, 9 mil. Alright, RP key, RPK. Let me go get some stuff from you, because I'm out of ammo basically. .762. We're good there. I guess we'll keep this rig for now. It's not the best rig, but it is what it is. Already got my stuff in here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind. Getting into the whole spiel of guns. The fact that you can't easily get the Vepr does make it special, right? If every gun can just be easily bought from a vendor, they kind of lose any extra meaning to them. Guns no longer become special, they just become commodities, which I mean is perfectly fair, right? If you want your guns to be like that, that's okay. But like it does lose a little bit for doing so. Having these chase items or guns are always a good idea. Or not even a good idea, it's just a way of providing content, really, right? It's, you know, goals for players to go achieve. I'm guessing you meant to say May. I don't think so. I mean, it's basically at this point been a month since the last big content patch. So, I mean, I'm gonna expect one probably next month or July, right? My general, like, for the most part with early access games, I expect once every quarter. And that's not always realistic too, depending on the dev teams, right? But they've maintained the cadence of like one patch every 2 to 3 months, content-wise. So that's what I'm expecting. Now they did like do a March and then April patch. I will say the April patch was a bit smaller. But no. I think also too on the Discord, didn't they say like on the poll page, there's gonna be a patch next month, probably, I think is what they said. I can't exactly recall. But no, I mean, I would just say June. What time in June? Who knows? But they'll say June.
I think they spotted us.
Oh no. Why? Why is there no music? So weird. Such a quiet game now. I don't think I killed all the guys I need yet. Yeah, I mean, you can hoard them, right, in regards to Veprs. Yeah, I mean, it's just the whole economy progression thing, right? People do enjoy hoarding things. There's not much point in really hoarding at all. Hey, Bells, how's it going? Alright, we have won the water wars. And we have avoided the ire of the chopper. No, I said we avoided the ire of the chopper. We avoided you. Go away. You're not allowed to just ignore my narration. Alright, it spawned. We're good. Yeah, this game is eerie when it's just there's no music and no ambient effects at all. It's so weird. I think I have every codex now, I think. I think the only one I might be missing is the grabber. But I can't recall. I have everyone else's, though. The grabber's the only one up in the air. If I can't recall if I have or not.
Eyes on us. Spread out.
Yeah, we'll see. I know they were asking for votes, right, in regards to what they wanted to get focused on. So that's nice. We'll see something you're open next patch, unit-wise, which is great. Hopefully liven up the scenes a bit. And apparently, I think they alluded to, right, also, on top of that, like, the patch after that, they'll be doing votes again for something big. I don't know. They just... vague. So vague. So very vague. I mean, Bells, that's how you have to, right? It's the railgun. Same thing with the grabber, right? Grabber, Toothy, Mother Courage, all railgun. Is my music turned on? Yeah, it's on. Alright, whatever. So very quiet. Map definitely is missing some sound effects now, actually. Like, there's no ambient sound effects going on, actually, outside the music. No, but like, so if this patch comes in June, then the next patch, 2 to 3 months down the line, that would line up with what Miles was saying about, like, the first iteration of progression. Or, like, endgame stuff. So I imagine that's what's gonna be, like, coming, right? After the next patch. It lines up fairly well with what Miles was saying. So that's interesting, though. It will be interesting to see what their ideas of progression are. Or endgame, really. Alright, we're good there. Do you have RPDs? Yeah, all destroyed though. I wanted to stealth kill you. I wanted to see the 20-second long stealth kill animation. We're full, right? Yeah, we're full. Okay. Time to leave. What the hell? Crawler? Hi. Alright. I'm to audios. I wonder if they're ever gonna rework Stagger. It is such a weird mechanic. Like, I understand the concept of crowd control in games like this, but at the same time, it just trivializes so many enemies when you can just stagger lock them. You can do it to Pyro too, right? You just like even especially like Pyro just feels weird. Did they say they only have 24K left? It's actually kind of crazy, Spark, they would actually publicly say that. Did people just hypothesize? Also, there's no way the only money they had is the 2 mil. Wait, they're putting out their own financial. Are they public? I might be unfamiliar with this. Man, can people just pull? Is that like public record? You can just pull that whenever you want for private companies. Also, like cash on hand, if you're talking about like if the exact metric you're referring to is cash on hand, that doesn't necessarily always mean they're insolvent. You're generally not just like I don't know the situation, so like I'm just speaking of like contextual idea or thoughts, right? Where like from the limited, oh god, all right, we need to leave. I'm out of ammo. From the limiting accounting I know from college, right? Like cash on hand is different from like actual your assets and like your revenue streams, right? And naturally, because Stormgate's already out or I guess in early access, like they're not making a lot more money from sales, but it doesn't mean they can't try to go get loans or sell out or just like acquire revenue from other means. I don't feel safe.
It's raining bullets.
But no, you do raise a serious concern though, right, Spark, in the sense of like, yeah, solvency and like being able to pay your employees and keep the doors open, lights on, is an important aspect, right? And that's that. I do view this game from a lot of that kind of lens where when you don't have infinite money, you do have to like be very picky and choosy with what you do.
This is it. Weed.
All right, I need to leave. And like, yeah, it's like I have no idea Fundog's finances. Though if it's like, I don't know how it's public record or not, if it is, but like, yeah, you can go pull it. You can see what the cash they have on hand. No, I mean, you're good, right? It just like it's just like Steam charts, right? Steam charts provide valuable information, but they don't provide the whole picture, right? So like it's all the little clues in the puzzle. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know if the information you provided is not right or not. I just don't know about Stormgate, but like, they're, just because they have like only 24,000 cash on hand doesn't mean like they're about to be insolvent, right? And typically speaking, like, yeah, you need cash to pay your employees. At the same time, you don't generally want to have a lot of cash on hand as a business. It depends, right? It's all contextual, but like cash you hold that's not doing anything is not making you more money. The whole point of businesses is to take that money and then turn it into more money by providing a service or a good, right? Perpetuating growth. Ragey, if it was a PvP game, it would have popped off harder, but died off faster. It would have been, I think, much more of a flash in the pan. I would say go look at Marauders, right? Marauders would be a good, like, kind of comparison to the trajectory of a game like this, I would think. Yeah, and like, I don't inherently think PvE PvP is bad. It's just in the current day, the amount of resources you need to have to actually make a good experience like that, it's a lot. Like, you need to, from the ground up, design your game in such a way where you always have the malicious user in mind. Because if you don't, you're gonna get, you know, a very negative experience later on with those users abusing the fuck out of your game. And, you know, in a perfect world, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't exist, and it'd be nice, and you could just make a game that you wanted to make without having to deal with all the back-end shit like that. But unfortunately, with PvE, extraction shooters, we're gonna say extraction shooters. With games like that, right, it's hard to do stuff like that. It takes time. Time people usually don't want to wait for, right? Just like the impatience everywhere else, it's the same thing in the financial sector, right? Or investors, they want to see quick returns on their capital, right? Just not many of them are willing to wait for 3, 4, 5 years to see their, you know, gain on their investment, right? If you're not showing them growth in like a quarter or a year, like, they get impatient. They want to see their returns. Otherwise, they could take their money elsewhere, right? Because, like, why wouldn't they? They can go somewhere else who would, like, you know, who would kind of bend the knee to them to make them more money on a quicker time span. Yeah, I haven't played Arc Raiders, so I can't say one way or the other. Polsey. I've heard, like, good things, but, like, that's always going to be the downside of a PvP game, right? Is the people there to, like, really exploit the PvP side. It kind of, once again, highlights that you need to design your game from the ground up to support those types of players because, you know, they're going to exist. Reggie, I think Marathon is primed to do... I don't think Marathon is going to outright flop, but I do not think it's going to do well.
I hate the surface.
I think there's plenty of people who are still enamored with Destiny / Bungie who are willing to buy into a game like that. Like, if it wasn't for Bungie, I would say it would flop. Because it's Bungie, they are going to have a small cult-like following of, you know, fans, right? I don't think it's gonna get a lot of mainstream traction, though. Like, it will pop off at launch, right, with streamers, and so, like Marathon's going to pay streamers to stream their game. It's going to pop off at launch. It's going to have a lot of players, and then give it 2 months down the line, it's gonna dwindle and dwindle and dwindle, just have a solid small core audience, which is perfectly fine, right? But, you know, considering Bungie's like a live service pusher, right? They need to have constant income. Yeah, so that's like, if I understand the situation correctly, Reiji, it was a contractor. They contracted out artwork and the artist stole it. And technically, it does fall upon the responsibility of Bungie, right? Like, it is 100% the contractor's fault, but, you know, Bungie is responsible for that contractor. Like, if you didn't look at the work and, you know, and vouch for it or just check it, right? That's ultimately on Bungie. And naturally, like, the contractor's rep should be tarnished forever, right? Like, they should no longer ever really get a job in that kind of field for plagiarizing someone's content like that, right, and presenting it as their own. But it still falls upon Bungie. I mean, contractors are pretty common, right? No one wants to pay for benefits. Contractors are very common in the software kind of world. It wasn't exactly software, but it's software adjacent. But no, yeah, Bungie, like, it basically shows that, like, I don't know, whoever was responsible for the contractors wasn't doing their job. Like, there needs to be someone senior there checking the work, making sure, like, it's like that. And I don't know, it's a really shitty situation, too, just because, like, generally getting into gaming, like, companies like that is very hard, and it's pretty rigorous because there's lots of competition. And I'm not sure if, like, Bungie hired like a contracting company, or did that person actually go through the entire, like, hiring process with Bungie and got approved ahead of lots of other people who might have not plagiarized. Like, what were they able to do in the employment process of getting employed to, like, essentially bypass, or essentially say that they're, like, a valid artist and they do all of the work? Like, it's not just one failure, it shows lots of failures in Bungie's process of you know, hiring contractors or employees, and then, like, you know, essentially validating what they say is true. Now, I don't know a whole lot about, like, hiring artists, so I know you guys have portfolios and stuff like that you show off, but, like, yeah, I don't know. Hey, Game Shift. I'm so unfamiliar with the creative, like, hiring process sort of side. I'm guessing it's basically, like, go over your portfolio, see if your artwork matches what they want. It's probably, I don't know, but it's probably not like a coding challenge, right, where you go in and, like, the guy asks you a bunch of technical questions and says, like, you know, show me how you solve this problem, so on and so forth. Anyone, an artist in chat who's ever gotten hired, to get to, like, go, like, draw art in front of the person? I highly doubt that's ever the case. How intimidating would that be, right? Like, where you're in an interview for, like, being a creative and artist, and you're like, hey, draw me a masterwork right now. Right now. You get to live. Yeah, that's what I imagine, right? So, like, at that point, it's almost on the like, if their portfolio was legitimate, right? That's one thing. But, like, if they're willing to cheat when they're hired, were they not willing to cheat on their portfolio? So it kind of comes in the hiring process, is like, did the hirer never catch a piece of their portfolio not being genuine? Or was their entire portfolio genuine, but, like, they decided to steal someone's art in this one particular instance? Doesn't track really well, but, like, that, for example, could highlight concerns in Bungie, right, where perhaps, like, they're getting overworked, but I don't know. Lots of questions, probably never gonna get answers for any of them, though. And, like, it is, it is gonna get bigger and bigger, I think, too, as time passes. Like, we're getting to the point now where children who were raised with No Child Left Behind in America are, like, now getting to, like, post-college and, like, getting into their careers and, like, progressing in their careers. And, like, They are children who have been taught at every stage of their life. It's not about learning, it's about passing the test. That bug's still a thing. Grab or no grabbing? I said grab or no grabbing. Oh, it's a cyborg. Hi, Fred. Bye, Fred. Scantrons, I haven't used a Scantron in fucking forever, but just the thought of Scantrons gives me PTSD. What are you doing, Fred? Fred's just vibing. How's life, Fred? We found the one cyborg who still has control over the body. No, Fred! Fred, no! You monsters, you killed Fred. The one good cyborg. I'll always remember you, Fred. The one good one out of all of them. The only one who didn't try to maul me when he first saw me. Hold on. I gotta find some alcohol real quick.
We decide what happens next.
There we go. Pour out some scotch for Fred. Good night, sweet prince. What the hell is that magazine doing in my top right? Is their music still not playing, by the way? I just noticed that. Did they botch the music in the music update? Do I need to pray for Rat King for the... Those are cow legs. Alright, MJ, calm down. I did not. It just, ever since we had the, what's it called? The water thief invasion, it's kind of bugged out. I can probably restart if I go do the actually praying to Rat King. Well, Game Shift, in a way, it might not be like literally cheaper, but it perpetuates the industry of Eurasia, right? Like, what's a bigger subsidy than war in that regard? Like, if you just sent Eurasian civilians off to fight without any cool augments, how are the, you know, Eurasia companies supposed to make money? Think of the corporations, Game Shift. You're being inconsiderate. Think of the poor corporations.
It's like Christmas came early. How to open those presents.
Hey, Blood. Yeah, so like Rat King... I mean, the music's playing here. That's playing now. I just don't know why it stops randomly in raid now. But like Rat King does force a random new track to play. Out of all the things you could say Rat King doesn't give you, which is everything, The one thing he does give you is a new music track. If you appreciate the new music track, I guess you can appreciate Rat King for that. Who's a good boy? I mean, like, yeah, that is the factor too, right? You are compulsing them to do things, like conscripts or just like volunteer soldiers, or really just conscripts, right? Might not follow orders to the T. So, like, it's multidimensional, right? It's control. It's, you know, funding your corporations, making sure they have, you know, ways of making money and doing their job, and then yeah. And like on a level 2, it could be also a way of conserving resources. Like it's kind of crazy to think they don't want to give the cyborgs any guns at all. So it could be like, maybe for example, they have the ability to produce like, say, 1 billion cyborgs a year, but only the ability to produce 100 million guns. So in a way, it could be just, you know, we have more manpower than we have guns. Yeah, I think the recycling is more just because the logistical paths are so long that, like, battlefield repairs or battlefield procurement is actually really valuable. If you're having to ship from your factories in Asia across the ocean, like, there's a real lag time there, especially considering like solar, but like the thought of like solar powered like cyborg bombers doesn't really make you think fast speed. Well, I mean, like, they're not, I wouldn't say super powered, right? They're super utilitarian. Like, they're really big, right? But they're also not carrying all that much. I doubt they're storing cyborgs in their wings. So it's more about volume and just consistency as opposed to everything else. Let's see here. Sure, M4. Well, I mean, momentum, there is that factor too. You gotta keep in mind also, like, yeah, the most loyal controlled. It's not controlled though, but like, it's the more the elite, right? Or maybe the ones who can afford guns. It's hard to say exactly what, but like, remember, as you go up the chain of command with Eurasia, the concept is that you get more like autonomy over your body, but like you're more willing to just work with Eurasia because like you believe in them almost. Like, it's when you get higher up in the chain of command with Eurasia, it's more of you control your own thoughts, but you still want to work with Eurasia. I mean, the Central Pacific, right, could be probably still pretty useful. As you get further north and south, right, the shipping lanes are probably fucking chaos.
Time to carve 'em
But
up.
like going east and west across the Pacific is probably pretty fine. Because if you just follow around the equator, you shouldn't get all that much ice, I would imagine. But like boats aren't exactly very fast, right? So like if you're trying to deliver goods quickly, I imagine like, you know, yeah, airplanes mainly.
Bad luck today.
Well, I mean, like we're coastal control, sure, but I'm pretty sure like it's very clear that there's some degree of coastal control here. And like keep in mind too, we're I think in so much of a, like, the gray zones are large enough where to build the infrastructure to actually like fight off, you know, say coastal convoys and so on and so forth, it just can't be built. like, we don't know exactly where, like, Europa America really starts, but, like, it gives you the theory or the feeling, right, that there's probably a very massive gray zone on the west coast of the US where, like, nothing can be built because it gets melted the next day. And, like, for example, these guns over here, right? Like, maybe they shoot eventually, but maybe they're just relics of, like, the first days of the war, and they're all just non-functional. And, like, that's... And, like... there is a degree too, right, where because the ports are probably so shot to shit, like, it's less about, like, probably ships, it's just more about bringing goods over, I guess, right? That could be a factor on why mothers are so important, too. Because, like, actually getting goods over here and, like, repairing them and getting things is hard. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they would do that. Like, there is safety, just like their Q&As, there is safety in being vague.
Christmas.
Oh, for sure, the cargo ships would probably be, like, pretty, I would think, actually automated too, Blood Panda. Like, I wouldn't expect the crews of, like, there to be actual, like, crews of the cargo ships coming over. They would be just automated. I do think, like, the whole piracy front is very interesting too, right? Like, if you have, like, these pockets of humanity that aren't under the, like, thumb of someone, like, having them raid these cargo ships ever so often for supplies would be really cool. And, like, I never expect them to do something like this, right? But, like, I always enjoy the idea of, like, actual... Like, the idea of ship combat and, like, ship survival. Like, okay, bear with me here. Like, an actual survival game that's based off, like, ships and shit. And, like, you can say Sea of Thieves, right? But I don't think, like, Sea of Thieves feels... It's a... Don't get me wrong, Sea of Thieves is a good game. Like, it does... piracy very well, right? In regards of just, like, feeling like a pirate when you're playing it. But I do think there's probably, like, a space for, like, an actual, like, survival slash, like, ship game, right? Like, maybe, like, modern day piracy. Not, like, literally modern day, but, like, modern technology piracy. Oh, for sure, right? Like, and, like, they might just view as, like, a ship going offline as them hitting an iceberg, or, like, them just, like, having malfunction, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things, if these, like, if they're really doing what they're saying they're doing and, like, producing, like, just endless supplies of stuff for the war, an occasional cargo ship going missing is not a big issue for them, right? It's a fraction of a decimal point. It also does a good job with, like, say for example in, like, the Philippines and Singapore and just around, like, Indonesia in general. Like, if Eurasia operates in the area, but doesn't control the area, it does do a good job of, like, almost giving Eurasia a degree of mythos in the area, right? Like, if you have all of these, like, pirate-esque factions in Indonesia, and, like, they're all, like, fairly modern to lower modern tech because of just nuclear war and atrophy, it kind of creates this, like, really interesting scenario, right, where, like, Eurasia to them is almost like this city on a hill, right? It's this grand obelisk. And it could be a reason why, for example, that Eurasia gets so many refugees for cyborgs, right? because they see this high technology of Eurasia and their fancy cargo container ships and just everything about them, right? It creates some really interesting ideas for religions in that area. Or just general, like, you know, the interaction between different cultures. Oh, for sure, yeah. It's like, it is, yeah, like, it's dystopian, right? Like, it's propaganda, right? It shows everyone, like, look at how fancy we are, look at how high-tech we are, but it hides the rot within.
Not sure where.
There it goes again. Did they, like, do some patch recently where just, like, they don't autoplay music anymore? I wonder if anyone else is experiencing this at all. Or the music, like, it plays, like, I think one track, and then just stops. So weird. I can reboot, but it's like, I can reboot, Dust, but like, it's not like it's not playing music. It's playing like the ambient soundtrack or music for only one track, or like maybe one playthrough, and eventually it's either breaking or it's just not on repeat. Like it's not on loop. Maybe we're getting new music, right? Or maybe they're doing some different soundtrack system. Was there a patch recently on this? Like a small little micro patch? I'm actually curious now. No, I don't see one. It could have been a small patch forever ago, though. I just didn't notice. You're dumping your cyborgs right into the pit? What the hell? Alright, the ambient's playing again. Why the hell did they just drop their cyborgs in the pit? I want to go down there so bad. It's such a like is it not like peak rat behavior to want to go down to like a ruined area and like salvage the scrap? Let me down there. We're scavengers, but we don't scavenge, we just steal. We should be called stealers, not scavengers.
Best day ever. Not quite the best, but not the worst.
Oh, so that's fair. So yeah, Stalker's acronym to just like hit every, like, you can't say we're only about one thing because like we're about everything. We're stalkers. It's like literally saying, yeah, we're humans. That doesn't say anything. You're just using some generalized term. That's exactly what stalker means. It's so generalized. I mean, you still technically have the seasons, right? But like, remember, like spring and fall are about like plants growing and plants going into hibernation, right? And like crops and stuff. That's spring and fall. When there's no real crops, right? You just have the warm to the cold and the gradients in between. And if it's always cold, right, then you just have the cold and the colder. 2 out of 3. Sir, I have given you this picture so many fucking times. Can you please stop losing it? Alright, no hidden water today. Maybe not the Scorched Enclave. I'm so scared of Scorched Enclave now just from the fucking chopper. Alright, characters. Do we want to make it easy or hard? Let's make it hard. Actually, let's make it easy. Okay, gunhead. It's he does say it's the picture of his partner, and I mean maybe yeah, there could be a very disgusting reason why the Europans are so interested in it.
A human is the hand.
Pokemon cards, that's perfectly fair too. Pokemon cards are expensive, man. I for the life of me, I think I have only ever met like 2 people who actually play the actual card game Pokemon. But I have met so many more who do the collection process, which there's nothing wrong with, right? But like, it's kind of funny where it's just like, yeah, it's a trading card game, but no one plays it.
Remove my safety.
There's dozens of them across the entire world. Alright. That's perfectly fair. I've never played it, so I would not know. The only game I've actually played was Magic. There's plenty of people into Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, but like, there's a certain like, not mythos, but like, stereotype of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. And Yu-Gi-Oh! 2, just as a game, also just feels about like, who can just go off first. It's not like I've heard that like on a high level, Yu-Gi-Oh is much more about just trying to do your thing first, as opposed to like interacting with your opponent. It's like watching 2 people play solitaire and seeing who wins first. There's plenty of interaction in Magic. But like usually the problem is that people don't like the interaction sometimes because they stop that from doing their cool thing. Like there's an entire color in Magic that's about stopping you from doing things. See a soul. Like there are like combos in Magic, right? When you get to like the older formats, and there's still combos outside of that too, right? But like there's plenty of usual areas where you can interact with them. It's just generally too, if you get to the point where you're like, where control, which is basically about like controlling the game, is very popular, people don't generally like that. Because it's slower games, right? People like doing cool shit. And then when you have the person who comes in and says, I'm gonna win by stopping you doing your cool shit, people don't like that. People find it boring. But it's also like it's like a necessary evil, right? It needs to happen in games, or just in lots of things, right? Sometimes it actually, the fun police, despite not being loved, are sometimes necessary. You know, once you get used to the grabber's location, at least when you're playing solo, yeah, very, very easy to go around. And there's also the thing too, right? The whole social contract too, where like, if you're just playing with your friends, like it's a social contract, right? You figure out what each other's like, what each other doesn't like, and you play fun decks around that. I can't wait for a Doom, like, I know it's not gonna be this, right? But like, it would just be hilarious if the new Europa unit was like, just a regular infantry guy with a new gun. Like, no, not even a new gun, right? Just like a gun they wouldn't normally have. So like, say for example, they had a new Europa unit called the European Assaulter, and it's just a European with like a vector. Other than that, they're just like a box standard soldier. We have complied with your ask. We have made you a new unit. You son of a bitch. You're technically right. But I imagine, right, it's gonna probably be like, there's the spider mech from like the trailers. There's like the special units that need some actual love, like Tormentor and Pyro. There's a signaler too, like the signaler and like the egghead that haven't been fully fleshed out yet. I want to go explore the sewers. You made me a sewer map. Oh, come on, really? You couldn't do any, like, a corner? I didn't actually try to look down here before, but like, you couldn't even make it a corner that bends away so for the illusion? Come on. Come on. You couldn't even make an illusion of depth? Map designer, please. You could use, just add one singular bend so we can't see the end. You absolute fiend. Well, let me go see their stint over here. I mean, the spider mech is European though, because it's like, if your critique is the aesthetic, then it's one thing, but like it is European, and there's literally a European patrol in front of it in the video. And I think it looks European, right? It's just like a walking platform with a bunch of guns. Nothing wrong with that. If it had the, because it's just pure metal game shift and not this like weird carapace slash like, you know, like bulky skeleton, I would agree with you, it's Euruskin, but because it's actually like just pure metal, I think it's perfectly fine. Or perfectly European. Okay, at least I can't climb up here. I guess that is a plus. Why is there a car down here? I guess just floods. All right, I can't. Okay, good job. At least over here, I can't see your sin. Your sin isn't literally in front of me.
Delete them.
No, we're not gonna delete them, Gunhead. Game shift from a pragmatic standpoint, a lot easier to traverse ruins. A quadrupedal mech like that has a much easier time moving about a ruined city than a regular mech. Essentially, it can lower and raise itself to deal with like things in different levels really easily, and it can also just, it doesn't have one point of failure, right? Rather, like, or I guess 2 points of failure, right? With its legs. It can support itself pretty easily and climb probably a lot better than regular mech. Why? You know what this needs? This needs like another door. There needs to be like a door here, and then a door here. And I think like this should be closed off and another door right here. I think we need more doors. No, we were just talking about the, Michael, we were talking about the quad mech and the trailer possibly being one of the new units we get for Europa.
Time for repairs.
And, GameShed was commenting how it looks Euruscan. Now we only got 3. Oh well, close enough. Yeah, that works. Yeah. We save people to go through them in the pit. Understood. All right. Regions. Let's do a good old mech trench. Let's go to gun blazing. It's characters, Bagman. Bring good old pack mule. What gun? What do I have ammo for? I guess is a better question. If I can run the Scar, or run an AK, or a 20mm, or an SVD. You know what? Sure, why not? Where are you? Oh, hold on. Aramaki, baby, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What do you want? I guess while I'm here, let me go ahead and do this real quick, too. I might actually not have the part for it, though. I can get something else going in the meanwhile, anyway. Come here, you. You arbitrary timer, you. Alright, another base being made. Alright, Aramaki. Please forgive me for murdering so many cyborgs. Let's see. Huh? There we go. Basically blood. Basically. When the timer is 3 to 4 to 5 hours, right? Might as well just get it going whenever I'm on. Alright, 54R. I mean, there's no shot we need that much ammo, but I guess it's fine. Alright, pistol. Oh. Well, I can fix this. Characters. Mass band. Do we still have it? Alright, we still got it. Bug in the game, oh boy. SVD, where did you go? Did it delete the SVD? We got you, but at what cost? It deleted my SVD. How could you, game? What the hell? What the hell is that bug? I have been robbed. Absolutely robbed by this game right now. My 1 SVD per hour is now gone. Alright, we have Scar, we got that. Pick up some quests. Data heist, sure. Food chain, why not? And murder them, that works too. Alright, we're good. Serves me right. Womp womp. I lost my SVD. Sad days.
Always looks different up here. And always looks the same.
Where's everyone at? The hell? Also, what the hell do you go to? It's like a... Like, what are you a part of? I mean, they honestly should do literally until they rework the entire system. They should do nothing to the HK system. They shouldn't add anything. They shouldn't. They should not touch it at all. The second they touch HKs and they don't entirely rework it, like, just why? Why waste the time? Probably for a while. You can see it on the map, right? It's a very big mech trench. Like those lines you see on the region map are probably all these trench lines. So they go for quite a while. Sure, hold still, please. Thank you. Alright, there's the food containers part. There we go.
Hey, day, baby.
You're in the way of pneumatic jump. I'm so sad now. Yeah, like considering the scale of everything, right? Like they have massive like land movers. They can basically build whatever they want, right? So whether they can maintain it or not, or like keep it up with all the bombing and like enemies and stuff. I have Blood Panda. I've enjoyed it. It's been a nice change of pace. I imagine too we'll be seeing those maps along with like other maps, right? It also makes me curious what they have planned if we lose. Though, considering the first objective is like 2.5 billion Illuminate killed, it looks like we're well on the way there in time. Like, it does not feel like we're not going to hit... Like, there's probably multiple objectives, right? It's not just going to be that. But I am kind of curious what the actual, like, end game here is. People were wanting that to be a thing for a while, yeah. People were very happy to have their little Marines back. And they follow orders too. And they talk about you, and they die valiantly. I mean, I'm not sure the performance-wise. It would be interesting, right? Like, I'm not saying they should do this, but it is an interesting thought, right? Maybe they could, like, in lieu of necessarily maybe other players, you could actually have squads of Marines with you. It'd probably not work very well for balancing, but, like, it would be interesting, right? Having little squads of Marines with you. Yeah, they carry 2 weapons. I've seen a few throw grenades. I don't think it was an impact. I think it was just like a regular grenade. They have thrown grenades. They do shoot. I had one like snipe a what's it called? An illuminate like summoner, right? The little drone thing was super useful. Yeah, Marine stratagem. The only problem, right, is like not problem, right, is like I almost feel it would be interesting, right, from a perspective of you playing a Helldiver, if like you can replace each of your slots with like a squad of Marines. And naturally, they're nowhere near as good as an actual other Helldiver, right? But like, you could summon 3 squads of SEF Marines and have them like, you could go order them around with you, basically. Essentially, you can be your own little commander. Doing little NPC wars. Alright, I want my jump. Helldivers are like, in the lore of like, or at least the insinuation that I get from the game is like Helldivers are like somewhere in between ODST and Space Marines, right? Like their performative acts are Space Marine or are ODST, and they're squishy as regular humans, basically. But like they do kind of have that Space Marine sort of vibe with them, where in regards to like they are regarded as they are revered or regarded very highly by conventional military. You are, in the eyes of regular Marine, you are considered a super soldier. No, Helldivers never die, Darkstar. They merely just get turned into a transient paste.
Shred them fast so we can move on.
But no, like they're, I mean, like, Airhead's such a, like, the IP of Helldivers does such a good job. I would not be surprised if Arrowhead / Sony are exploring additional options in regards to the IP. I mean, from the context of the scale of the game, right? There's like trillions of humans probably across the entire system, right? Like a billion seems like a lot. Well, like in the game, a billion seems like a lot, right? But like that's like a billion every couple days or like a week, right? So like there's a lot of people or a lot of just living creatures in the Helldivers universe in that system. What the hell? You got to be that, though, right? Nice. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not in the billions, it's in the trillions, if not higher. Naturally, it's been getting what's it called? A bit I guess in Smallland, I don't know right where I'm trying to think of, like, it's gotten a bit reduced over the last year, I guess. Alright, I did not have this quest. But no, like, yeah, Helldivers getting, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, like, I don't think we're fully done yet either in regards to all they have planned for this, right? I do think they're probably hiding a few stratagems. So I imagine, like, we're gonna kill the 2 billion, or the 2.5 billion, bugs, or sorry, the Illuminate, right? Might as well be bugs. And then, like, the Illuminate are gonna be doing something on Earth that's gonna require some massive, like, extra weapon, right? We're gonna turn Earth into Meridia. Oh, maybe that's what they're doing, right? Maybe they're turning Earth into a wormhole or a circle. It does. It's interesting too, right? Because Helldivers 1, like the factions were a lot more nuanced, at least in comparison to Helldivers 2 currently. Helldivers 2, it literally just seems that like every enemy faction just wants Super Earth dead as shit. They're done playing games. They're done trying to be on a moral high ground. They're just like, you need to die.
Bring the rain.
All right, time to leave. They probably do have good reasons for it. The pistol works perfectly fine with Baghead. But not Baghead. The new character, Baghead, just has a bag on his head.
Never enough hours in the day.
Oh, there's gonna be ammo types too. That's gonna be interesting. I think there was a few leaks policy that never got through though, so like, or at least they took a lot longer for them to actually like come out, right? Like thinking when we first got spoiled vehicles via like I think leaks were showing kind of like an APC and then a Jeep, right? We only eventually got the Jeep, and it was like quite a while later. So like, despite the fact that we're like getting leaked a few things here and there in the files, it might be a long time before we actually see them, slash if they ever get included, right? Because we still have yet to see the APC. It's kind of why you have to be cautious when you go file digging in regards to games. You might find something that you might think is new content or coming out soon, but it might just be the vestige of something old that got like left, right? Or just got abandoned, but never removed. All right, Scorched Enclave, come kill me with your chopper. Maybe I just bring tools to make sure I don't have that issue. Sure, I can do this little actually. No, that works. Yeah, I can bring a hand grenade pistol. There we go. We'll bring our anti-air grenade pistol. That will surely work. We probably want a silence gun for this, right? Sure. Hell, like, like, I imagine they probably thought about silencers too being cool, but probably realized too that like, it's just a massive pain in the ass balancing the AI around guns like that. Like when your core premise as a game is not a stealth game, having to deal with stuff like that constantly is, I can only imagine, very annoying after a while. Having to constantly account for having two sets of AI, one for stealth and one for not. Helldivers 2, yeah, I mean, if you really enjoy the game, like, if you enjoyed the gameplay loop of Helldivers 2, yeah, it's worth getting. The gameplay loop hasn't changed, right, at all. It's the same gameplay loop, but just more fleshed out. There's more content, more guns, like, more enemies and stuff like that, more maps. But, like, there's no new gameplay. There's new content, but nothing new gameplay-wise, right? If you enjoyed the regular Helldivers loop, you'll still enjoy it now. And if you really enjoyed it, right, you know, it might be worthwhile to get it again if you want to play it on PC. I think this doesn't. When's the summer sale for Steam, right? You could maybe wait a bit also, because I also didn't mean to spawn here. The summer sale for Steam, isn't it? Is it June or July that starts in? You can usually get it to a science when they start their sales. June 26th. Okay, so it's a while, yeah.
Pick your targets. Make every shot count.
I honestly haven't been buying that many games recently. I probably wouldn't either. Like, I don't think there's really that many games right now, like, on my must-procure list. If any, really. I'm struggling to think of a game right now where I would, like, just instantly rip the trigger off, I would... Yeah, I just can't think of a game I would buy right now, to be honest. That's kind of like when you have disposable income, right? Like if I want a game, I just buy it regardless, but I don't know. I mean, I'll play Stalker eventually, right? But like I played it before Stalker 2 came out earlier, so like I usually wait every 3 to 4 years before I play Stalker again. Yeah, I haven't keeping my eye out for like indie games that may be missing blood for sure. There hasn't been any like high profile ones recently. Well, Polsy, 100%, right? But like, there's still plenty of games that will have silencers act like movie silencers, right? And like, there's the stigma, right? Like, you have to understand there's certain expectations, like when you have things in media or like games, right? God damn it, why are you here? It comes down like, there's so many different questions, right? Are you trying to be realistic? Are you trying to be a milsim? Are you trying to be arcadey? Are you trying to be like theatrical? Like, it depends on like what you want your media to be, right? Like, yeah, if you're trying to be a milsim, a silencer that makes your guns unhearable, that's probably not English, is not right? And that should be adjusted because it's a milsim. But like, I wouldn't call this game, for example, a milsim. I wouldn't call Helldivers a milsim. It's not trying to be realistic. It's trying to be grounded, but it's not trying to be realistic. Like, Helldivers tries to make sure their guns look and feel and functions like they would be real, but it's not trying to be realistic. It's trying to make you feel like their guns have some authenticity to them, right? In the world that they set up. Yeah, then you have the old issue too, right, Michael, where like the actual sound of the guns cycling is really fucking loud. So like then you'll have guns that require you to manually cycle the gun, right? Like that was, what's that, like basically that tube silencer gun in World War II, right? Where you literally had to rack the pistol itself. Like you basically literally untwisted it and like, you just, everything was manual about that gun to keep it as silent as possible. Because it turns out mechanical parts moving and hitting each other is actually quite loud, but not as loud as a gunshot. All right, this is gonna be fun. Please don't murder me. This extract's always the worst. Did a chopper show up to the extra? Oh god damn it. Stop serpentining. Yeah, Captain, I always, like, I have a, I just can't usually get into 2D games that much. Oh god. Why? Why, Extract? Why do you do this? Alright, I can leave, I can leave. Let me out. Hearing protection? What hearing protection? We're all deaf around these parts. Yeah, the only problem is I kind of needed, like, yeah, just hitting it's one issue, and then like having only the one-shot one doesn't do all that well. The problem is too is like that when you hit those points like that, everything gets attracted to it basically. All right, time for stairway. But no, yeah, the choppers are so bad now. Why are they loitering so low, and why do they care about us so much? We did nothing to deserve this. Sure, that works. Is now the time for nighttime stairway? Would I have nothing that's silenced? Nope.
More chances to assist.
I wonder if maybe they just silenced, or just sorry, not silenced. I wonder if they just removed the night shift. Imagine the amount of gaslighting there'd be, right? If they just like randomly removed a night shift, and like people just like thought they were getting internally unlucky for like the longest time.
We have to endure.
Yeah, no music here too. What the hell is going on?
Patience is a virtue.
Get there. Maybe you just stop going away. I think it's like me hitting W, right? That does that. Yeah, my keycaps are. No, that doesn't. That's such a weird fucking bug. I feel like they need to add like a microsecond. Like add some like weird like 0.1 second delay or like maybe 0.25 just to make sure you don't like accidentally close the inventory you just opened. I don't know. 0.25 is probably too long. I can't game shift. I hear nothing. I might just restart this and see what happens. I wonder if it's just like the water thief screwed it up or something weird's going on, or I don't know. I'll give it a restart after this and see if it fixes anything. I don't like. I think the biggest thing, right, is I have pretty sensitive keycaps. So like me just putting any pressure at all on my keys will generally have me like, for example, if I just press W ever so slightly here. Or I think yeah, there's a weird bug too, right? Where if like sometimes if you hold E too long, it does this. Like if you don't let go of E quick enough, it does this. And like that's an issue too, right? I currently am using a K95, if I recall correctly what this is called. I also have a wooden keyboard, which I like, but it's only a 60%, so I only really use it when I'm moving around a lot. Because I do enjoy having function keys and a numpad. I prefer the wooden keyboard a lot more for typing. It's just that, yeah, this has more functionality on it.
Additional.
Sure. And you know what I miss, guys? I miss Fred. Fred was so chill. Fred was the best. He wasn't just charging at me trying to murder me. He was just perfectly zen. Good old zen Fred.
Multiple contacts. Incoming.
No, like I genuinely enjoy having nice keyboards. Just mechanical keyboards that are not very clicky, but are just like they feel very nice to type on. The only problem though is that if you're not familiar with keyboards, there is like an actual like collector, like people collect keyboards and keycaps and stuff like that, and they'll have different types of keyboards and keycaps and just collections of keyboards. It's crazy. And what that brings, by the way, if you're familiar, whenever you have something that becomes collectible, it brings in a lot of just like really bespoke, expensive pieces to the community, right? You can spend way too much money on keyboards. It's actually crazy. Like this K95 is like commercial, so it's not all that bad, but I think the K95 was like 200, right, when it launched for Corsair. And then my wooting was, I think, around 250, somewhere around there, I think. I can't, maybe, no, I think it was like 180, actually. I think it was like around 180.
Metal and glory.
But no, yeah, they get expensive very quickly.
Come for us.
Now. I believe it's wooting, hold on. Yeah, wooting, so it's, there we go. And unfortunately, some of their software is now banned. Essentially, they had some pre-programmed macros as part of their software suite for their keyboards that was deemed anti-competitive by at least Valve for CS:GO, and I think probably Valorant too. Essentially, it would counter strafe for you, like basically by itself. And for those of you, in Counter-Strike, right, when you're moving around, you are very inaccurate. So, yeah, I have a version that's no numpad. I think they have a numpad version, but I don't have that one. The one I currently have is a K95 though for Corsair. So Counter-Strike, right? When you're moving around in Counter-Strike like this, you're not accurate, right? And so what you would do to make yourself accurate for like a shot, like really quickly, is you would apply the inverse input to what you're doing so you could stop immediately. So in Counter-Strike, if I just let go of W right now, I still have some inertia momentum where I would not be accurate that quickly. So what you would do instead is you would cancel out that movement by quickly tapping the alternate key. So for example, I'm holding A right now, I hit D, and it cancels out my movement. And essentially during that brief window when you do that, you are very accurate, like insanely accurate. But like that was always going to be a skill thing where like you have to manually do that, right? Wooding software essentially made that automated, where if you let go of A, it essentially would hit the D key for you. I think you can, right? There's stuff like that, right? I'm not sure if it's a plunger, but there's definitely like applications like that where you suck it out like that. You apply the pressure outwards. I'm not sure if it's a plunger, but like there's ways of doing it akin to that idea to undent your car. I think they might do some heat up too, but there's definitely plenty of stuff you can find on the internet, Ray J. But like, there's stuff aligned with that concept, right, of using essentially suction to pull out a dent in your car. I'm not well versed in it, but I know it exists. Josh, it probably should. I'm not sure if a plunger would be the best application there. But yeah, like there's definitely ways of like undenting it without a hammer. Without hammering it. There we go, there's Game Shifts knows what he's talking about. There we go. Yeah, Game Shift the expert. All right. Sure, let's go swamping. And that always works too. Rips off the entire battle. Rips off the entire door. Alright, let's see. Let's go shotgunning, why not? Yeah, you should be fine. I have a 3080 and a 5800X, so 5800X, and it runs well for me. There was a guy on Discord for the very longest time, he might be in chat right now, I'm not sure. He had lots of issues with the 3600, but like, I don't think those were issues with that card. It was something was wrong with, like, I can't say for certain, right? But like, considering he was having issues with nothing else, it kind of felt like it had to be maybe like something with the machine, but I don't know. But like, you can play it, install it, and then refund it. You could try the demo too if you're really conservative about your money. The demo is like pretty far behind tech-wise, but like it's gonna give you a decent gauge on your performance. Essentially, if you get adequate performance in the demo, you should only get better in the current game. All right, we have Water Thief, Data, Steel Train. But you can also just like buy the game too and then refund it if it doesn't run very well. No problem. So the demo is like basically almost getting close to a year old at this point. It's not exactly, it's more like 4 or 5 months, or like, it's like 7 or 8 months old at this point. But like,
Choices matter.
if you get like 30 to 40 frames, you should be probably expecting like 50 to 60 on the main game. It should do better than the main game, or do better with the main game. Yeah, I'm not a car person, Duffs.
More in the ground. It won't make a difference.
It's always a bit sketch for me to go mechanic because I like always had to be like skeptical about just like making sure I don't get ripped off. There's always this kind of like idea, right, where if you're not a car person, you go to a mechanic, sometimes they'll try to rip you off by like basically abusing your ignorance. And I'm knowledgeable about that part, so I'm always so like kind of, whenever I go to a mechanic, I'm always like, I'm trying to gauge if they're trying to play me or not. Hey, Captain.
Do not allow yourself to be surrounded.
I have him defending Super Earth. I played a little bit this morning, like a round or two, and I played a little bit yesterday. All right. He's probably inside. Yeah, I generally can't like grind Helldivers that crazily, but it is fun. The new like well, not new, but like defense missions is nice. Yeah, Rage, that's what I was kind of saying in the sense of you kind of need to find the right tool for the job. Like the idea of suction I know is right because I've had my car dents pulled out that way, but it wasn't with a plunger. It was like some tool they used, right? It might have, was it tape? I don't know, I can't recall. They essentially use something to pull it outwards, right? Using the forces of suction or something akin to that.
You never know what you will find until you look.
Yeah, but I actually was like kind of crunching out the numbers in regards to like how many, like if we go off the current player counts of like 100K, I think, like, yeah. I'm trying to think like, essentially you need to get into the tens of thousands per Helldiver to actually get the order done, but I'm sure some people are doing way harder than that, or going way harder than that. I'm also curious too, do you know if like the special units count as more or less? So it says like, for example, kill 25 billion Illuminate, right? Is every Illuminate worth 1? So like a voteless and then a walker is only worth 1? Or everything only counts as 1, interesting, okay. So you actually just probably want to farm voteless, right? Just find massive ways of voteless and just farm them for numbers. Also, Reggie, to help you with this issue of undenting your car, I'm gonna need your name, your bank account number, social security card, driver's license, your mother's maiden name. So this is also very relevant to undenting your car. It's always, J-Mods, whenever like you're an expert around people who know nothing about your craft and try to like, are trying to articulate words about your profession, it's always like that. I accept my ignorance about car stuff. I usually acquiesce to the experts. I just try to make sure I don't get ripped off, right? I mean, I know shotguns got nerfed, right? But like, they're still really good against regular infantry. It's just cyborgs they got nerfed against. Oh no, Game Shift, you're fine, man. Don't worry about it.
Many footsteps.
And here's the thing, right? Like, it's... I think everyone here is pretty reasonable in the sense of no one's like trying to pass on knowledge like they're some kind of expert, right? Unless they are one. So everyone's fine here, right? No one here is trying to cosplay as some fucking expert that they're not.
Peace through discovery.
All right, there we go. Oh, Ragey, I always hear those horror stories, right, of like Well, not many horror stories, but I've heard horror stories, right, of like someone accidentally getting added money into their bank account, and like the only thing you can do is not touch it, because if you ever touch it, like the worst thing that could happen is the bank asks for it back later, because they're gonna correct the mistake eventually, right? Somewhere down the line. Wasn't there like one story in Australia though where they didn't, but the guy like eventually abused the fuck out of it? Oh no, yeah, like so there was like a story about like a guy in Australia forever ago. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but he found some exploit where he could withdraw more money than was actually in his account or something like that. And the bank didn't notice until he started to really abuse it. And essentially, like, he got away with it for so long, I think, that eventually he just stopped doing it. But like, eventually he talked about it on social media or he basically said his story out loud, and that's when he got caught, basically. I can't remember if you Google it, right? The Australia man who got like free money, I guess, or yeah, Australia man, probably like bank or credit card fraud, or just like free money or something like that will probably pop up. Yes, always remember, the IRS will, even if, well, it's more this, right? No matter what, legal or illegal, you always pay your taxes. If you're making your revenue illegally, you find some way of paying your taxes. Granted, I mean, considering they're doing their bestest to make sure that's no longer a thing, though. No more IRS memes in America. I can show you what it is. It's just all high. It's 1440p, borderless, 60% scaling, all high. And no DLSS, because it bugs out the game sometimes. That's all it is.
Tons of radio chat in the sector.
Like, other than that, like, the only weird thing I might have that's not being shown here is I do have a large shader cache size. Like, that is the only extra thing I've done for this game.
It will pass.
So in your NVIDIA control panel, there's a setting called shader cache size. The default, if I recall correctly, is 10 gigabytes. I up it to 100. The game is not going to actually use 100 gigabytes of shader cache space, but for some reason, it just wants a little bit more here and there. I don't know why. Like, if I go look at my shader cache, it will only be like 3 gigs. But for some weird reason, what the hell? Okay. For some weird reason, like, it just runs smoother with a higher cache.
Multiple contacts. Incoming.
I guess like, the problem, I guess, what might be happening is it might be requiring when you're playing to use, like, maybe 10 or 12. But that goes over the cap of 10 gigs, and the next step up from 10 gigs is 100 gigs, so, like, it's the next step up, essentially. That's the one thing I can think about. Are those... It doesn't look like wood. I don't know. Looks... I guess it's just really naughty wood. Yeah, like, it's... When I go look at the actual shader cache size, it's not using anywhere close to that 100 gigs. But for some reason, it just wants more. I do not know why. But other than that, yeah, that's my only thing I've changed for this game. Yeah, basically. I mean, that literally could be the case, right? Like, if it sees 10 gigs, there might be some NVIDIA driver thing, right? Where if it sees you're getting close to the max, it starts, you know, deleting or doing actions on the shader cache. And whenever your graphics card has to do shader cache stuff, it gets real bad real quick performance-wise. So it just wants the comfort and safety and knowing it's not near the cap. Alright, am I full? I'm full. Okay, understood. Let me up. What the hell? Who just fucking shot me?
They have arrived.
What the hell just shot me? So rude. That could be a 2, right?
They must be.
I didn't mean to mantle. The amount of times I've killed myself from accidentally mantling this game is too many. It's not a lot, but it's definitely more than one. Alright, time to leave. Okay, that was too high. There we go. I really do hope one patch they make those real. Just like one surprise patch. Oh, I forgot the invincible fucking. Why do you have collision boxes? Why? Why do you have collision boxes? I mean, I think they alluded to next month, Ray J. Duffs, are you saying you don't enjoy the sound of silence plus my voice plus gunshots? You want music?
Remember, we're already dead.
No, but why do those bushes have collision boxes? Please. Why is small branch blocking big bullet? Alright, let me restart real quick. Try to fix the music. Game. There we go. It's not that organized. I've had better organized, but it just like when it sometimes feels like I change my desktop size ever so often because I'm playing on ultra wide right now that I knocked down to 1440p. It messes up all the configuration. I haven't played TF2 in years. It's been a hot second. I mean, I played it forever ago, but it's been a very long time. All right. Let's see if the music stays. Like, as you probably saw, right? Like, I don't really generally... I play this game on stream, I play Helldivers 2 occasionally, and like, when I want a quick game of something that doesn't require me to like have a lot of attention, it's usually Slay the Spire. Other than that, that's really about it right now. And like, before Helldivers 2 was Path of Exile, and for a brief period between it was Battlefield 1 for a bit. Funnily enough, during my brief stint of playing Battlefield 1 again, I got accused of hacking. That's always fun. Blanco? Sure. It's always it's so validating to get accused of hacking in an FPS game. All right, any other quests? The only problem with, I think, this one spawns a chopper. It really is. It really truly is. And like, here's the thing. They were confused why I had 100 kills, but we were on we were playing on a 2-time server, right? So essentially the games last twice as long as they normally would. And like, they were just ignoring the fact that we were on a 2-time server and a hardcore server, to be honest. So essentially, like, I was using a one-shot gun on a 2-time server. How would I not look like I'm hacking with 100 kills, I guess, apparently. And I didn't have a crazy KD either. The KD was like, I want to say I had like 100 kills with like 40 deaths. So it wasn't even a crazy KD. It wasn't like a hacker KD. Oh, the first thing I brought up, Ragey. I literally said in chat, skill diff. And then I mentioned that I'm like, we're on a hardcore server, I'm using a gun that one-shots. Like, how is, like, it's literally just point-and-click adventure. Alright, good there, good there. That's fine. And it wasn't like, it wasn't even a hacker line, right? Like, if I was hacking, why would it not like be like 100 to 10? Oh no, it's not the first time I've been accused of hacking, but it's been a long time since I've been accused of hacking, so it was really refreshing to know I still got it.
Every run tells us.
And like, let's be honest here, a BF1 community server isn't really the highest bar of skill, but it is just like, you know, endearing to some degree. Doom mode. Look, I'm playing Doom. I mean, like, I haven't played Counter-Strike in forever. It's been a long time since I've been accused of being a hacker in Counter-Strike. It's because everyone's gotten so good in Counter-Strike that, like, well, it's one thing too, right? If you go play community servers, yeah, you'll get accused of being a hacker, right? Because why would, like, high-level CS players go play community servers? But, like, sometimes I like shooting the shit too, right? But no, it's been a long time.
All signs point to this.
And I will say too, like, I'm actually, I still am not a fan of EA, right? But like, I am hopeful that the new Battlefield actually is good.
Good things.
I'm probably gonna wait to see if it's good or not before I buy it, because, you know, 2042 doesn't really inspire confidence.
Nothing to be done.
The BF1 is still pretty good. Yeah, they're making a new one. It's gotten like false leaked or like kind of like marketing leaked. They kind of showed some gameplay of it here and there, and they didn't like immediately, what's it called, strike it from the internet. I'm using an AK. If you have a rail that supports an optic and you don't use an optic, this is what happens. So this only happens when you have a rail but no optic. These goddamn cows. I mean, it's a fun little thing to do occasionally. I wouldn't really call it useful. But like, it's certainly a vibe.
Too many footsteps. We need to reduce their numbers.
No, no, no. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Why do you want to kill me for grabbing 3 pictures that I'm assuming I grabbed? Suck off. I have bullets that don't do anything to you. You better be scared. Is that Chopper? What are you doing down here? What the hell is going on? Chopper, no. You grab 3 pictures and suddenly they send you a fucking specialized grabber. You can ward it away. Duffs, this is all your fault. This never. Apparently the music's fixed though. Alright, we should be good on the bridge. Yeah, you can stagger the dog and you can, like, kind of get the dog to fuck off for a bit. But, like, the dog is eternal. When there's an HK. When there's an HK grabber, it generally beelines to you perfectly, and you have to engage it to get it to break off. Yeah, Captain, for sure. I'm looking very forward to Slay the Spire too. Slay the... As a person who has stopped playing Magic because I just don't like the variance, I don't like the fact that a certain percent of the games in Magic the Gathering will just be non-games. Like, it is just, congratulations, you got unlucky, you lost the game. That's just generally an innate feature of card games, though. Slay the Spire is one of the few card games I've ever fucking played where I never feel like I lost a run. It's happened like maybe twice in maybe like 300 hours of playing Slay the Spire where I have felt like I just got really unlucky and lost the game. Every other time, like, it does an amazing job of making you feel like you have agency during the entire playthrough. And, like, when you win or lose, it's not because of just RNG, it's because of you did something right or wrong. Like, I don't know how they did it, but, like, it is such a well-balanced card game. Wait, where's my part at? There it is. Come here, you. Look at there. It's over there. Just waiting.
Freedom found underground.
It's anything that does damage, right? Momentum. Like, I'm not sure about the exact mechanics, but like just shooting the dog will eventually get it to break its pathing. And then, like, with a grenade launcher, right? I guess, like, the question is, does it proc the actual explosion? Is that enough by itself to actually get it to ward away? That's still a bug that floats around occasionally, right? Where the grenade doesn't actually do any damage. And, like, the biggest thing, right, is just breaking the first charge at you. Because you kind of noticed, right, after I broke the first charge, it just jerked around for a bit. Maybe we'll get Nighttime Cemetery, or sorry, Nighttime Stairway. Hey Delta, how's it going? Let's go Gunhead. Actually, can I fix you? There we go. Yeah, I have no idea about the exact particulars of the grenade launcher bug. It just happens occasionally, and it's just feels super random no matter what. You know what? Why not? Let's use a bad gun. Nope.
I am the conduit. The human is the hand.
Never gonna get Night Stairway again. Maybe, do you guys, it's conspiracy theory time. Do you think they saw my map tier list and were like, we're gonna punish you? And then coded in that if my name's Kilpo1, they remove the ability for me to spawn a night shift stairway. Hashtag cope. Maybe. No, I'm being facetious. They didn't do that. They just removed it because of me too. They just like delete the entire map variant. I mean, to be fair, that's most of their maps, right? Visually, all of their maps do look great. Why would praying to the Rat King give you technically a worse shift? That seems like more of a curse than a blessing, right? In the testing of this patch before they released it to the public, like that was like one of my first comments on the map was like, the red's really cool for all of like maybe the first 3 runs. At least like naturally in my opinion, right? This like, I don't mind the stylized atmosphere, but they kind of set the precedent, right? Where weird or non-normal atmospheres, like or colorations of maps, usually means a night shift, right? Like, for example, Eclipse. Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, it doesn't, I don't think it strips my eyes per se, but like, I can definitely understand that, right? It's just a lot. It feels like a heavily stylized map, and that's nothing wrong with that, just, it kind of just feels like it goes counter to like what they've currently established a bit, right? I don't mind the red map, I mind that it's like the every run with this map. Not like directly, I don't think, right? They kind of alluded to the fact that we're only we only have part of the night shifts, right? I don't think they verbatim came out and said like, we're releasing your open night shifts now, but they kind of alluded to the fact that like the night shifts, the actual like enemy types and like, you know, your opens are not there yet. Yeah, Michael, I definitely think that we're probably due for like a map in June, right? Considering they skipped April. Which, to be fair, April was like only a month after the March patch, so that's perfectly understandable. Like the April patch was kind of more of like, we want to test out this feature, I guess, as opposed to anything else. Like they really wanted feedback on the weapon system, I think. And they definitely got it. They absolutely got it. I just hope, I genuinely hope I got my point across with the time though. Well, some wrong guy, they only have 2 more, right? They only have Shanty and then downtown. And they've already shown, like, wrong guy, that they already have, like, the basics, at least the basics down for those maps, if not more. So like it's, I agree with you, right? After they finish, like, or after they put up the last 2 maps, right? Yeah, go back and fix the other ones or add more stuff to the other ones, right? But like, I don't mind with them getting at the last 2 actual maps of the game first. But no, I just really, I mean, I doubt they do anything about it, which is fine. I mean, right? But like, I do hope they just like kind of get the picture that does anyone actually like IRL timers in a game like this? Genuinely. Why am I being compared with everyone else in a mostly single player game with optional co-op? Like, I don't mind the railgun thing, right? That's a co-op only thing. I don't really care about that in a grand scheme of things. I just care about the whole like base game design being kind of like live service slash used to like compare yourself to others online, right? Like the reason why you have artificial time limits like that is to keep your progress relative to other players a bit slower, right? Yeah, every single patch for the store, they've done a good job of like doing incremental, actually like, you know, performance upgrades here and there. And I do think a lot of it too is just optimizing maps also. Like they have been going every single patch and just touching up maps here and there, right? Like not on the gameplay front, but just more on the performance front and then just like quality of life front. Let me not fight those guys if I can help it. Yeah, collisions, just general performance like FPS here and there. Like this map desperately requires some passes in regards to like, there's definitely some drains on FPS on this map. Europa, naturally, Captain. Like the propaganda slash like media basically says, right, like Europa is fairly normal dystopian, but like it's normal. And in Eurasia, you're cyborg fodder slash kind of a slave to the state. Same thing with Eruska. Like Europa seems fairly like normal, but dystopian to all hell and back, right? Like you can kind of almost view, I would think, like Europa as being like Judge Dreddish, right? Megacity-ish. With Eurasia being more cyberpunky, but like probably way more dystopian cyberpunky. And then Eruska just straight like, you know, horror. Like we don't know a ton about Eruska except for like Lordos, right? And Lordos doesn't really paint a very big picture or a good picture. Womp womp. No, I said like more dystopian cyberpunk, like higher, like more dystopian than regular cyberpunk. I would say Eurasia leads into that more. Oh, do I see any non-dystopian cyberpunk? I mean, like there's different, I would say cyberpunk's like 2077, right? Like it's dystopian, but like nowhere near the degree I would say for Eurasia. Like in the grand scheme of things, like cyberpunk is like dystopian to a degree, but not all that much. I would say cyberpunk is very like tame on the dystopia side. It hits all the cyberpunk themes, right? But like I wouldn't say it leans heavily in dystopia. At least relatively, right? Yeah, that's essentially like how I view it, right? Like, Eurasia is probably like that, but toned up in regards to like the control, right? By a large factor. All right. I miss my poor crawler farming. Yeah, like, yeah, Momentum, I can see, I would not consider Cyberpunk as very dystopian. I can see the arguments for and against it, though. For a normal person, they would probably consider Cyberpunk dystopian. For people who, like, look at a lot of dystopian sort of, like, lore or narratives, it doesn't seem that dystopian, right? It kind of just is based on your frame of reference, in my opinion. The best state? What do you, like, you mean, what do you mean state? Oh, I already said Europa. Yeah, I don't know, Captain. It depends on where they want to take it, right? I'm not sure how dystopian, like, Forbidden Winter is dystopian, right? But, like, how gritty and grim do they get with it, right?
I'm too old.
With the whole water thieves things, that they might be leaning more into the grim and gritty. But I don't know. They can take it however they want, right? But, like, there's... I don't know, yeah. It really depends on where they want to take the game mechanically, gameplay-wise, right? And who the fuck do I know in regards to what they're doing with that?
Every shot counts.
All right, water thief, time to be free. What the hell? He turned into a bag. Game shift, I can see your messages, by the way. I have no idea why the YouTube is censoring you. So, no, it's not me, it's just YouTube. And I can see your messages that you're submitting. I don't know why they're censoring it.
All or nothing.
Is it the worm, like... I have no idea why they're censoring what you're saying. Is it like the word wounded? I have no idea. Or was it just, you trying to retype something in? Sir? Wait, what?
Worst case
Can you not?
scenario, right there.
Okay, he can shoot, he can shoot. Yeah, it's working now. Fair enough, game shift, understood. I thought it was maybe like the auto mod, like, destroying your messages for you. I remember like in like one of the really early like cinematics, right? This guy would execute you if you got close enough. Or just that he had a sync kill.
Pick your targets.
I would pilot a civilian car back on the home front, Captain. That seems nice and safe. Either that or I would pilot the Titan and I would play Tokyo Drift while I drift through Scorched Enclave with my Titan. Whoa, whoa, you weren't aggroed yet. That's cheating. Cheater. I mean, Fred's dead, so I can't really. Nope. Because the tanks are apparently made of paper mache, and they can go flying. It does not seem very safe. Exactly, Captain, you understand. This is certainly a mood. Listening to like classical music. He's doing a waltz.
Stick to the corners.
This thing is just like the most anemic thing. How bad is the trajectory on this thing? Hold on. Not that. Does it just shoot low? See, okay, it works here. It goes straight when I'm... When you ADS with this thing, it's so... Hold on, let me try. It's got a different trajectory. It's got a different trajectory based on if you're ADSing or not. What the hell? So like once again, just for aim here, you can see the trajectory there. It is literally so much lower. Hey tank, not too much. You missed Fred dying. That was sad. Captain, it's one of the skins you can get. Well, it's the only skin you can get in game. So if you, I think it's Innards Invasion. If you ever defend against the Innards Invasion, you get the water mask essentially that you can equip. I mean, come on, we tried, right? I can't help the fact that he was turned into a bag, okay? He was just role-playing as Bagman, cosplaying as Bagman. Exactly. All right. Let's see here. Let me find the sniper. Yeah, momentum. It's not. It's just random what HK you get. There's no weight on it, like who you're shooting or murdering. All right, and then let's go get our sniper rifle. Where's my jump at? There we go. Now we can do a pistol, why not? Like an actual pistol. Alright, we're good here. Probably need some more meds, to be honest. There we go. Do you not want to silence your R8, Captain? You don't want to be sneaky with your cowboy pistol? Yeah. Yeah, just generally speaking in the tank, if I ever see, like, if I ever get an HK that just feels random, I always feel it's gonna be a medium mech or a grabber. Like an HK when I'm killing someone, it feels like it's gonna be a European HK, right? But whenever I get like a random notification of HKs in like the middle of nowhere, it always feels like it's gonna be a medium mech or a grabber. So I'm curious if it doesn't. It feels like if it can't path those units to you, it won't spawn them until it can. Like if you're up here and get an HK, it's only ever going to spawn HKs that can actually shoot you. Otherwise, it's going to wait and spawn them later. All right, there's gold brick. Oh, that was a little closer comfort. All right, is anyone down here? Nope. Oh, there was someone down there. Tormentor is dead. That's sad. Hey, Big. So Big, we have the stream today, which you're already doing. We have the stream Friday, which is community stream. I could sneak one in tomorrow, maybe. I'll have to think about it. If I randomly start streaming tomorrow, it would probably be normal time, and it would probably be like Helldivers. But yeah, we can think about it. I'll ponder it. I might have some free time tomorrow.
Maybe we can slip past.
I think it's 4 times, right, Momentum? I think this is a 4 times, or the other one's a 4 times, right? This might be 3.5. What the? Alright, well. Yeah, I'll consider it for tomorrow. Off day stream. See you, Captain. Thanks for stopping by. Though, honestly, by tomorrow, too, that first objective might be done. For killing 2.5 billion Illuminate. What do you mean awful, Michael? It's beautiful. What are you saying?
Maybe we can slip past.
All right, so we have HKs now. I'm not getting shot at, so I'm a little scared. Yeah, the maps really aren't big enough for that much zoom yet. Or ever, really. The problem is, right, like, on the grand scheme of things, this game is not really too concerned about ballistics. And it probably shouldn't be. Do you want, like, a pet or something? Who's a good T90? You're a good T90. Who only has one driver? You only have one driver. Alright, have fun.
All kinds of bad.
What the hell? Well, only one type, right? Like, you'd have more than one European EOD guy, but like, you'll only ever have one type of EOD, or sorry, a hunter killer at a time. So you can't have, like, you know, EODs and then plus a grabber. It's one or the other. Yes, I would love to be quartered by grabbers. It would be very dystopian to bring quartering back. I see them spawn occasionally, but like, I don't know. I think they're still pretty derpy. Grabbers? Oh god. That sounds terrifying. The pinnacle of all evolution, crab. Are you like, where the hell are you?
Bastards got our...
Alright, you're not real. What's the out of bounds here? I'm curious. Alright, there is, I think, a ceiling here. Can't jump up anymore. Ah, yes, the pipes to nowhere. PKI. What? Me? I've never fallen to my death in this game. Why aren't you real? Anytime I try to explore around, they make props not real, and it makes me sad. Like, why is this real and this not? It is one of my preferred, actual, like, groups that I like the whole combined arms thing. So seeing the Packmaster with Scramblers is always nice. It might as well be. It's a 9mm, but might as well be 22. All right. I'll take 1 out of 3. You know what? Might as well. We're talking about him, right? Might as well. And rest in peace. Means we also need to be Bagman because we need to be make sure we can actually live through the grabber. And let's get painless grenade launcher. This will surely go well. There's nothing wrong that can happen here. And just in case, we'll bring our little jump too, in case the grabber gets wily. Why do I get so many night shifts on this map? This game taunts me. Alright, we're good there. And my scramblers. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I forgot. Yeah, this is how you aim this thing. Maybe a slight mistake. Oh well. Because I'm playing a character above 2k HP. Really? There we go. When you play a character above 2k HP, he can't one-shot you, so he just derps out. He will eventually occasionally come and smack you around, but like, he can't one-shot you. Like, in the grand scheme of things, the grabber is not that scary. It is literally like a fly.
We're on the clock, people. Kill him quick.
I think I need one more commander, or I guess whoever's in charge, squad leader, cyborg leader, pack master. Oh, hey. How nice of you to come back. What gun do you have? I killed him so hard he flew into the wall. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Holy shit. It's unfortunate. I think the grabber. Oh, sorry. These guys have Hold on. They have AKs with actual bayonets on them, which would be so fucking sick. But we're not allowed to have them. Look how cool it is.
They might be flanking. Shred them fast so we can move on.
So peaceful. Got a nice little campfire going on. Got some water to drink. A little bit of ambient lighting around the massive head. Plenty of audio. That's great. This is really nice. The effects are interacting with the actual ceiling too, which is cool. No more commanders? Cyborg leaders?
We're on the clock, people.
I hear them, I don't see them. There you are. Got him. Alright, time to leave. No. Self-defense. Whoa, 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 whoa. Jeez. I guess so, right? Just give you kind of that sci-fi feel, like you're high-tech, I guess. I don't know. How much ammo do I have left? Alright, that's it.
Never enough hours in the day.
Honestly, 500 rounds of painless does pretty freaking well. As long as you, like, you know, control your ammo economy. Well, Michael, I imagine a lot of bad things can happen if they actually jam in the closed state. Imagine getting soft lock. Imagine like a gameplay experience where you go to a map and like you close a door, or like a door's in front of you and it's just broken. You didn't bring a repair kit. You just have to go back. It's just positive affirmations. Hey, no, real life stuff come up. Real life stuff. I'm moving in about a month, so that's just taking precedence right now. It's just a regular AK. Yeah, I'm curious to we're gonna get like weapon skins. It's probably like very low on the priority list, but like it would be something, right? I'm moving about 3 hours away. So a decent distance away, but not like really far away. All right, got my AK, got my ammo, got that. Oh, we're also cheating with grenade launcher, understood. All right, perfect. Any quests? I feel like, I know you're being like facetious, Game Shift, but like some people do have genuinely long commutes and I have no idea how they do it. Spending that much time in my car would make me absolutely miserable. It is always a pain in the ass. It's just dealing with all of the stuff, right? Naturally, when you live in a place for a while, you want to have stuff, but then when you buy stuff and after you move, it's like, why did I buy all of this stuff?
It's always the same up here.
Why, game? Why do this to me? Yeah, I mean, Lil Papa, like, that's kind of my point too with the DLC, is like, as long as they just do them like once ever so often, I have no problem with them. And like, that's always gonna be like the caveat, right? Like, everyone I think knew, like, the people who were okay with it definitely knew when they were gonna do it that they were gonna get flack for it, right? It's just a given. Yeah, I'm still kind of waiting for that Little Papa. I mean, naturally a skin, right, wouldn't really be, what's it called, replacing any of the actual, like, modeling, I feel like, because you wouldn't want to have to redo the rigging or the animation, so it would just literally be like a color or a skin or a different material over the gun, right? It wouldn't actually be a model change at all. No, but I do agree with you. Yeah, I would much rather see actual, like, overhauls and weapon aesthetics as opposed to actual skins. You know what I really want? I want the ability to use a gun flashlight without having to ADS. That's what I really want. That's genuinely what I want the most right now. And it might only be because of right now I'm in the night shift, but I do definitely want it.
We brought all this.
It's such a weird design choice. Look how slow these things are. If they were any slower, I would have, like, they might honestly be at stall speeds. Like, they're not moving that fast.
We brought all this gun.
And depending on like the airplane, right, your stall speed can be really slow, but those things are giant metal birds, right, or metal planes. Like, sure, it might only still be sheet metal, but it's still like metal of some kind. They're hovering. I don't think they're hovering. There's nothing on them that was just VTOL, though. Like, I didn't see any thrusters pointing downward whenever I looked at them closer. Their wings are shredded too. Like, yeah, they have a lot of damage on their wings. A rule of cool for I honestly think going faster would be cooler.
I've been waiting for this.
What is cooler? A grandma driving a sedan at 30 miles per hour, or some guy driving a hot rod at 120 miles an hour? They're balloons without... They're big, flat balloons without cows. Understood.
Not enough ammo in the world.
Ow. Yeah, you find the Europa command bunker, you open it up, oops, all cows. I mean, that's how, the tank, that's how it works. Red goes fast, purple goes stealthy. It almost sounds like you're telling me that painting flames on your car makes it go slower. Crazy. Flames on cars make it go faster. We already missed April Fools though. Next year maybe? Yeah, exactly, the tank. That's a great one.
Old snake eyes.
Good old try and improve a negative. What the hell? Just go ahead and close this real quick. I'm kind of concerned about all the bones in here, by the way. Like, this looks like a medical area, but like, what's with all the bones? Like, it's not limbs, it's not like heads, it's not bodies, it's just bones. And you can't tell me that's like, it's because they ate the meat, because like, you could grind up the bones for seasoning. This is irresponsible. Like, if you're gonna go to the bother of being a cannibal, you might as well use the bones for something. Yeah, fertilizer too, just like, yeah, like this is wasteful. You should be using the bones for something. This is not very circle of life. I mean, I only mention it because, like, one of my favorite ramens is the, what's it called? The bone broth one. And it's so good. You know, like most broths are made from bones, right? Or just have bones for seasoning, right? And like, bones have marrow too. There's delicious stuff inside of bones called marrow. Can I hear something? Oh, I hear the flare.
Christmas.
Where are the civilians at? What the hell? Well, exactly, right? You know, you think they bring them to the grinder, right? So why are they on the floor in there? And not in a convenient box to go to the grinder? See ya, tank. You know what, let's actually go trench line. Maybe there's civilians in the trench line.
Bad luck today.
No, no, let me up. No moms, understood. What are you hitting? Okay. I'm definitely hitting like some weird wall there, I feel like. Hold on. Is there like a wall? No, not there. Oh, yeah, there's a collision box. Wait. You know what it is? It's the pauldron. Where the pauldron should be, there's a collision box in the way. That's not good. Yeah, like, that's eating the bullets. Wait, is it though? Or just the grenades? It's like only over the left part? Very weird. Hey, Medium Mac, how's it going? Oh, what are you doing out here? Do you spawn out here consistently? I don't think I've seen you over here before. Oh, alright, well, bye, Grabber. Keeping a wide berth from the medium mech, that's understandable considering your guys' history. Yeah, my game shit. Imagine the day when we actually get we have virtual reality, right? But virtual smell.
Looks like we started something.
Being able to smell the battlefield. Immediately get sick and have to leave to go to the bathroom immediately. Oh, Blood, you're talking about the players, not I'm not talking about in game. I think we're good here. Did we get any quests done at all? We get the healing room done. Yeah, this one wasn't even there. All right, that's it for today, everyone. I will see you guys Friday for the community stream. Maybe stream tomorrow, maybe, question mark. It's very iffy, but if it will be, it'll be at the normal time. And it'll be Helldivers as opposed to this game. Otherwise, Friday community stream. If you want to play, hop on. It's first come, first serve. Otherwise, have a good day, good week, good weekend, and I will see you guys Friday. Bye, all.